Hello and welcome back to the channel, ladies and gents. I am your host, Mr.Notion, across the nation. And we are back checking out another gameplay trailer. This one is for Stray Souls, which I've not heard of. But again, this has been placed in my direction by you lovely people. And apparently it's a horror game. So I'm already going to be checking it out. I'm already invested. Apparently it's like Visage, which to this day is one of the most terrifying horror games I have played to date. So if you haven't played Visage, I'm going to do a quick shout out on the game. Go and check it out if you're into your horror, if you're into your atmospheric, first person, crap your pants type of horror game. Visage should be up there if you haven't played it. A great indie horror. Apparently this one is similar-esque in its sort of presentation, the gameplay. So we're going to be checking out the launch trailer. Without further ado, let's have a little nosy. What was he eating? Nice slippers, dude. Okay, another game that's coming out in October. God damn. They're smashing them out. All these Halloween games, all these horror games are just coming out in absolute waves, which is great. But just means I'm going to be even more strapped for time. This looks really good, and I was expecting a first-person horror. However, I would say it's more akin to games like Resident Evil. It's got that third-person, over-the-shoulder. You've got weapons, which is something that I do love in horror games. It makes me feel a little bit safer, knowing that I've got some sort of backup if I do get grabbed and molested by some sort of weird ghost or spirit or some sort of creature. There's some weird bosses in there. There's actual enemies that you fight. And I imagine it's going to lend itself to Resident Evil quite heavily in the sense that you've got puzzles, exploration. It looks interesting. We didn't see much about the story, but it looks like there's going to be kind of like a cult involvement. There's some symbolic weirdness going on in the picture we can see here. Some sort of diagram, telegram, whatever it is. Some sort of weird, you know, Star of David or whatever. And pentagram stuff going on. Weird spooky woman scratching at the wall, so she's obviously got issues and she needs serious help. But this looks like a game that is probably going to do quite well. It's an indie game again. Jukai Studio, never heard of it. Versus Evil, never heard of that either. But this is great because indie games are now on the up and coming. There's loads and loads of great horror indie games out there. And some of the sort of recent indie horror games are still in my top playlist for horrors of all time. And, you know, it's nice to see that they're up and coming, and it's nice to see that they've got support in terms of the budget, the voice acting. The graphics aren't top tier. It's obviously not on par with games like Resident Evil 4 Remake, 2 Remake, and all that kind of stuff, but it was enjoyable. Some of the facial animations looked quite good, and I think some of the boss animations looked really terrifying, which is what you want in a horror game. So I am looking forward to this one, and I'm going to put it on my watch list. I think hopefully we'll see a little bit more, but I'd imagine because this is a launch trailer, this is the last you're going to see of the game before it comes out. And because it's an indie game, it's probably going to be a 4 or 5 hour game, maybe slightly longer, so it's doable. I have got a list of stuff that I'm going to put together for you guys for Halloween. There's going to be a little bit of a compilation scare playlist that I'm going to do, which will come out for Halloween. But there's no reason why we can't pick this one up around that time or just after, along with the Alan Wake 2 game, which I'm definitely going to be playing on the channel, so stay tuned for that one. But let me know in the comments what you think of this one, guys. Are you going to be picking it up, or have you got other horror scarefest titles in your wish list that you're going to be playing for Halloween. Let me know what you're doing for Halloween as well. Is there anything that you're going to be playing in Halloween? What is your #1 go-to horror game for that period, or movie for that period? Loads of scary stuff coming out at the minute, and I'm loving it. As a massive fan of horror, this is a thumbs up from me. Thank you so much for watching the video, guys. Stay tuned to the channel for more content, and I'll see you again in the next one. Peace.